had amazing experiences on films before, but this was the sort of perfect blend of performance and character. And it just gives you the freedom to just try things. It was so thrilling.
You okay?
It made me better than what I was when I walked on set.
I'm a nice guy.
Are you?
Welcome back to Season 3 of You Know That Scene, an original series celebrating iconic scenes in cinema. The scenes are a jumping-off point for a discussion between our esteemed guests, a group of makers, authors, critics, and influencers who all share one thing in common: a love of film. The theme of this week's episode is a discussion about these ladies that we're seeing in the beauty of cinema from a revenge point of view. So our first film that is up is a film called Hanna. Most 16-year-old kids, they're texting, they're hanging out with their friends. This child is
Not
like,
Hanna.
no, I'm just gonna kill people for a minute.
Saoirse Ronan was only 17 when she made this movie. This movie fires on all cylinders.
I just missed your heart.
She is this child that's born with a sense of revenge. She's been raised with it, she's been preparing for it. And so, you know that scene where she flips the switch and she just cold-blooded is like, come find me.
Come and find me.
Watching Saoirse in this, she is so single-focused on what she's got to do. You're just like, you know what? Let me just get out of her way.
At the same time, she's learning what it means to be an adolescent, and she's learning it in a really unique and very difficult way. So you know that scene where she meets the family, traveling through Morocco, and she bonds with the daughter.
If we're going to be friends, you're going to have to be honest with me. Them's the rules. Are we friends? Yes.
For the first time in her life, she's realizing what it means to be a teenager. Even though she has basically been born to be raised as a killing machine, there's an innocence to her.
Thank you for being my friend.
That's one of the things that Saoirse Ronan really brings to this, that innocence when she's brought into the real world and how she uses that against people. Because you know that scene where she is in the interrogation room and the fake Marissa Ziegler is in the room.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole time you're like, why is Cate Blanchett behind glass? She knows what's gonna happen, and you think, oh, she's just a scared little girl. And then she latches onto her in that really weird way that seems like too young for a girl of Saoirse Ronan's age. And then she just goes on this crazy rampage.
But the thing about Hanna is that in the sense of being an assassin, right, she's not over-sexualized, and she's kind of like, I mean, for lack of a better way to say it, she's kind of like Jason Bourne without any social skills.
Totally, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's hard enough being 16 when you're not murdering people.
The next movie we're going to discuss that is the complete opposite of Hanna, that is hyper-sexualized,
For sure.
is my girl Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, baby. Oh.
This movie, once it starts, just doesn't let up.
You're watching the movie going like, you know, that's not a stunt person. Because
Totally.
you know that scene, that long take, it just keeps going and going and going.
With a director like David Leitch, we were expected to be wowed, but I didn't expect to sit there and hold my breath and then also feeling like I ran a marathon after seeing that one long scene. She is also taking punches. She's not coming out of this unscathed.
Oh, no way.
You know that scene at the beginning of the movie where she's in that tub of ice? Ooh. She gets out of the ice and she gets into the mirror and you see all the bruises and stuff. Ooh. And then she sees that picture of her lover and then you know right then and there that this is gonna be the impetus for this film, that she's got some scores to settle. Every time she cared about somebody, something would happen to make her go, okay, you know, I have to handle this.
And Percival does say that to her. It's like everyone comes into your life, ends up dead.
In order to be a female assassin, you don't have to be hard, because there's something very soft and beguiling about Charlize Theron as Lorraine in this film as well. She shatters those tired stereotypes of women in action films and shows that revenge comes at a price, but one that is very welcomed at any cost. Speaking of things that come at any cost, the next film we're going to discuss is something that I absolutely adore for a variety of reasons. It's called Promising Young Woman, and it stars my girl, Carrie Mulligan. It is written and directed by Emerald Fennell, who also is the showrunner for Killing Eve, which has a theme of revenge kind of floating and weaving and bobbing through it. But when we first see Carrie Mulligan, you know that scene in the very beginning of the film, the very first shot you see of her, looking like a broken doll almost, right?
Right.
And looking like she's just drunk out of her mind. And then she goes home with this dude, and he's trying to have his way with her.
What are you doing?
I'm like, Adam Brody, how dare you? And all of a sudden, she just sits up and goes,
What are you doing?
You realize that she's been holding the cards the whole time, and that is the tone that she maintains through the rest of the film.
This movie and Carrie Mulligan's journey is about forcing empathy on other people. You know that scene where she returns to the college to speak to the dean where the crime had been committed and her friend had been wronged.
So you don't remember the accusations made against Al Monroe? I don't.
You know what was really interesting to me about all of that is that she played her like a fine-tuned violin.
We have to give these boys the benefit of the doubt. That's why I know you won't mind that 3 hours ago, I picked your daughter, Amber, up from school and introduced her to the boys who live in that room now. What?
All of a sudden, it turns into, oh no, I don't want people to hurt someone I love. And that's what Carrie Mulligan says to her. It's a little different when it's somebody you love, I guess.
You're right.
Carrie Mulligan as Cassie is very controlled, very much like Hanna, very much like Lorraine in Atomic Blonde. They're very in control of what their actions are. You know that scene where she's at the stoplight and that guy pulls up next to her in that pickup truck and he says something to her that she didn't like? She very calmly gets out of the car, grabs that tire iron, and lights that truck up.
Oh, okay. Whoa, stop.
And I was like, there's a couple of people that I've pulled up on the side of the road where I wanted to get a tire iron and light their world up too. So I can totally relate to that moment. I'm just saying, it was a good therapy moment. But it speaks to that trajectory of women at the end of the day just want to be heard, just want to be respected and treated like a human being and not necessarily like a thing.
You know that scene where she's eating her jelly donut and seemingly to be taking the walk of shame. And she comes across 3 construction workers, and they're hollering and catcalling and being just so rude to her.
Walk of shame! Time last night, sweetheart. How much, baby? How much?
And she just stops and she just stares at them.
And you know what was interesting about that scene? She stops in front of a trash heap, and they're catcalling her like she's trash. The way that is shot is absolutely brilliant. I thought, wow, that's an imagery that I will never, ever forget because it speaks so strongly to the theme of the movie.
I think that there's a lot that can be learned from watching the film. We all have a responsibility to have empathy for other people's situations we might not understand.
It shows that in all of these films that we've talked about, that these women are strong, they're resilient, they're fashionable, but at the end of the day, we have these women who are seeking revenge for all these different reasons.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
If these films have taught us anything, y'all, it's taught us that revenge is a dish best served female.
Yes.
So thanks everyone for watching today. We've got more episodes coming your way that we can't wait to share with you. So please like our page, hit our subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on You Know That Scene.